Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is Pool Chapter 59, and this one is titled Obero's Story. There's no need for thanks. I did what I needed to do to be assured of your comfort, he stated, his dull gaze firmly fixed on you. Okay, you whispered, taking a sip of coffee to clear the awkwardness from your end. The room fell silent and you looked away and then looked back at him, waiting for him to say something else, but he just sat there watching you. About us? You asked hesitantly, before changing subjects and motioning to the coffee mug. This is good coffee. Thank you, he said, shifting in his seat and gripping his hands together, replying to your coffee comment before continuing on. I feel like I need to tell you about my friend from high school. I know the basics, but please go on, you thought, staying quiet to let him continue. I've always been the quiet one of the group, he stated. Hazashi and Obero were the loud ones. I'm assuming this story is about Obero? You asked gently, seeing as I know Hazashi. He nodded and looked down at his hands. He and Hazashi were on the same level personality-wise, although Hazashi had a little bit more loud excitement than Obero. But the one thing that stood out with this guy was his ability to see nothing else but those who needed help, and that's exactly what happened when he lost his life. A pain shot through your chest when you saw Aizawa's face contort slightly. He wasn't one to show his emotions often, so seeing him trying to hold back the pain like that was making you hurt immensely. You waited for him to continue, holding your mug close to you as you sat half-twisted on the couch facing him. I was there when it happened, Aizawa said in a strained voice. To be honest, I didn't think it was real. I heard him encouraging me while I was fighting. His voice cracked a little, and he cleared it immediately, looking away so you wouldn't see the tears in his eyes. You bit down on the inside of your cheek to stop the sympathetic tears from forming in the corners of your own eyes. All of this still felt really raw for him, despite it being when he was in high school. I was waiting for him. He couldn't die that easily. But then I saw the blood, and... You reached out a hand and placed it on his thigh, putting your coffee mug down on the table so that you could shift closer to him. He kept his face turned away from you so that he could compose himself before continuing, and you patiently waited. I saw the doctors take him away. Then later I found out that his body had been stolen. His voice sounded stronger, and he looked back towards you. I met him again, as a villain. The hair on the back of your neck stood on end, and you moved in even closer to him and wrapped your arms around him. He was still there, inside the villain. I managed to communicate with him, but it still haunts me that he's stuck as a Nomu and there's nothing I can do about it. I understand now, you whispered, lifting your legs over his thigh as he unclasped his hands and wrapped one around your back to pull you in closer. I may not look it, but I do care deeply for those who I'm close to. I don't want to go through that again. He mumbled into your neck as he rested the side of his head on your shoulder. Understandable, you whispered, snuggling him against you. You tilted your head down a little and pressed your lips to his shoulder and exposed neck, just something small to let him know that you were there and that you still loved him. He hugged you closer and reciprocated the kiss, planting his lips on your neck as well, and your eyes rolled with delight. I'm in his arms, and just being here and having a gentle kiss on the neck is amazing, you wailed happily. You remained like that for who knows how long, and then pulled back a little to talk more. I understand that you've lost someone close to you, but I can assure you that the only danger I get into is walking from the classroom to the staff toilets and back without Mineta or Kaminari trying to have a friendly conversation in the hallway. Aizawa let out a small huff of amusement and placed his hand on your thigh. I'll suspend them both, he commented, rubbing your thigh gently. You smirked and hesitated to look into his eyes. He held a strong eye contact with you, then slowly leaned in to kiss you, that soft stubble on his upper lip brushing across your soft skin before your mouths touched and tongues ventured and roamed. Aizawa, he said, pulling back to ask your question before things got too heated. Are we going to make a go of this as a proper relationship? Because I've already told you that I don't like feeling used. Let's try, he stated. I'd like to keep our relationship a secret for now though, at least until we're properly established. Then we can announce it. Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to ask for public displays of affection at school anyway. We need to keep it professional there, but I just want us to feel like a couple whenever we're alone. He nodded. It has been a long time since I've opened myself to letting someone in, so forgive me in advance if I'm a little under par. That's fine, you said, laying your head against his chest. Thank you for opening up to me. It makes me feel special. Not like special, but just that, well, if you didn't care about me that much, you wouldn't have opened up such a heart-wrenching story to let me know where you were coming from. He nodded and bent his head to kiss the top of yours. I've already told you how I feel about you. His sincerity infected you, and your heart nearly exploded with love for him, and before you knew it, you were madly kissing again. You had sat up a little and manoeuvred yourself so that you were sitting in his lap facing him, and he had his hands on your hips, kissing you back just as fervently as you were kissing him. Why do we always end up like this? You asked playfully between kisses. Because whenever I'm around you, I can no longer think straight. My body takes over, he replied, holding your body against his as he bent forward and stood up, holding under your ass as he walked off towards the bedroom. And again, I feel like that's a perfect place to stop, so we will not cover what happens in the bedroom, and we will pick up again after they have finished their little romp. See you in the next chapter.